Coach Wilkerson, just general thoughts on this upcoming football season.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. No, just again, it's exciting time of the year. Guys put in so much work, the coaches, the players, the support staff, the administration, and you get very limited number of opportunities. And so as we get closer to the reporting date on the 28th and closer to that first opportunity on the 29th, just really, really, really excited to kind of see where we're at. We've continued to improve since we arrived. And we put in a lot of hard work, and we've got to continue to work. There's a lot of work to be done between now and certainly August 29th. But really exciting for us. Excited this time of year, and excited to get back on the field with the players.
Thanks, Coach. Again, if you have questions, let us know down in the chat. Dan from Prairie State Pigskin, you're up first.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, Dan.
Well, you're coming off, your turnaround 8-3 season. Expectations have been raised. Pierce has been named the preseason Offensive Player of the Year. So I guess as a coach, how do you approach those raised expectations?
Yeah, no, again, when we came back here, the first thing we wanted to do is we wanted to learn how to compete. And I feel like we did that year one. We were a little more competitive. We doubled our win total from the previous year, and we built some relationships and established some trust. And then we really focused on development. And then it was about learning how to win and then playing to the strengths of our skill set of the hand we've been dealt. Players did a really good job, strength and conditioning staff, athletic training staff, athletic administration, and we learned how to win last year. We didn't win as many as we wanted to, and now it's about learning how to take the next step. And so that starts with preparation, and it starts with work ethic, and those things don't change. We're still going to continue to focus on the process. It's nice, the players, they do like to have a validation, and that's certainly a good thing for the program, but we're going to get back to work when they report, and they've been working very, very, very hard. And they know that we've been focused on just trying to take the next step and improve, controlling what we can every single day. That's our attitude, our approach, and our response as we prepare for this season.
I've got one more, and then I'll get out of the way for other people. But, you've got Pierce and Trajan joining us here in a few moments. I guess just if you could speak about each of those guys and what they've meant to the program.
Yeah, unbelievable people, first of all. They epitomize what Eastern Illinois football is all about. Again, Pierce comes to us. He's got his finance degree from Georgetown, extremely intelligent, had multiple opportunities as he transferred and wanted to have the opportunity to be QB1 at Eastern Illinois with a place like with the quarterback tradition like we have with Peyton and Romo and Garoppolo and Shanahan and a number of other guys, and really stepped in and competed and built some relationships with the guys, was voted a captain by his peers for this season. Extremely intelligent. Now, obviously, year two in the system, a chance to do a little bit more with them and give him a little more control. Certainly had the change in coordinators with Coach Davis moving on and Coach Derrickson being elevated. But, I think that has really allowed him to continue to grow as a player. But I'm really excited about watching him continue to grow this year. Unbelievable person, great intelligence, highly accurate, great anticipation, and a really, really, really strong leader. So he's awesome. Trajan is a guy that I'll tell you what, again, amazing person. Came to Eastern Illinois from Texas Tech and, came here, was about to get on an airplane to come to Charleston when all of a sudden he got the notification that Coach Cushing, my predecessor, was leaving, and maintained his faith in our place and allowed us a chance to build a relationship. Unbelievable person in terms of mentoring other players, strong leadership. Certainly at one of our pillars on our defense, we believe you build inside out, front to back. And, he's a big, strong, physical, rugged guy who gives us a chance to be successful on defense. So both extremely intelligent, great football players, hard-nosed, tough, blue-collar guys that fit here. Again, they epitomize our program, but most importantly, they're amazing people.
Thank you, as always.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
We'll go to Mike Brad next. And if anyone else has questions, let me know.
Hey, Chris. Can you, first of all, being picked second, can you kind of speak to your reaction to that? Really kind of a tie for second.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for the question. Certainly, again, these preseason polls are great, and it gives people some stuff to talk about, but it really doesn't mean a whole lot. It's based on, coaches looking at, hey, number of guys back and who did what last year. That doesn't really impact things. You look at the history of our league and who's picked first and who's picked second and who's picked third and who's picked last, all the way down. And there's a long, long time between now and the end of November. And we've got work to do. Certainly, we do return a number of players. That's nice. But we've had a ton of change on our coaching staff. You know, we got a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, a new special teams coordinator, a new strength and conditioning coach. You know, so we've got a lot of work to do. Our guys, our players have been bought in and they continue to work. And we know that we have a ton to prove. Every single day that we come into the building and we go into the weight room and we get on the field, we have a chip on our shoulder and a hard hat and a blue collar mentality. And that's what we've got to continue to do. That's just kind of who we are. There's still a great deal of preparation to be done and a great deal of work to put in between now and certainly the 29th. And, you know, we do play a 12-game schedule this year instead of 11 like last year. Certainly our schedule is going to be extremely challenging. We're going to play, you know, 2 FBS opponents in Northwestern and Illinois, and then play our regional rivals in Illinois State and Indiana State from the Mo Valley. And then eight very, very, very quality, well-coached, very talented football teams in the OVC Big South. So it's a tremendous challenge, but we're looking forward to getting back there, getting to work, and then trying to put our best foot forward every single Saturday.
Is it fair to say you've had more change on the coaching staff than in the locker room?
No, I wouldn't go that far. You know, it is unprecedented times, and we certainly do have to deal with some turnover from a roster standpoint, but we've had great buy-in from the players. We've had great buy-in with our coaches too. It's just when you do have some success, guys have opportunities. You know, we've lost guys to the NFL and a number of guys to FBS schools. And again, we're here to try to help them professionally as they continue to move up the ranks. And that's one of the things. When you hire good people, they're going to have great opportunity. And my job as the leader of our program is to continue to try to surround our players with great coaches, great people, and then in the locker room, the same thing. As guys continue to move on, hey, it's about trying to find guys that fit here and are going to help us, give us a chance to be successful and be a great member of our football family.
Can you speak to your coordinators? Colin Geyer's got to be one of the youngest coordinators in the country. I can remember when you were a defensive coach. I mean, do you kind of lean a little more toward the defense this year or no?
You know, I spent a lot of time with the guys in the offseason and analyzing what we do and how we teach things and what we did well and what we didn't and why as we move forward. Once we get into the season, you know, yeah, I'm still involved in, hey, let's make sure that we try to stop this area or take this player away or try to make them beat us this way. This is what we'll be willing to give up this week. Hey, offensively, we want to take advantage of these matchups. But I let my coaches call plays on game day. And so, you know, again, when you hire good people, you want to be able to let them do their job. So I don't want to be very micro. Colin is a great young football coach. I consider him another football savant, much like Clay Bigdell, who had the opportunity to go Southern Miss after last year with us. Highly intelligent, really loves the game, works very, very hard at it, great communicator and motivator with those guys. And he's had a chance to put his spin on our defense. And so I'm looking forward to watching him continue to grow as a professional and help him along the way if he needs it. Kyle and I certainly worked together at the University of Chicago. He was my offensive coordinator. And as we came here, he was my associate head coach, coached our wideouts, and was our special teams coordinator. And then obviously with Coach Davis moving on, he had the opportunity to become our offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and really excited about that. Again, offensively, I felt like we continued to grow in year 2 and improve, much like we did on defense. But I know that you know, he's been able to put his own spin on things and try to help our offense continue to grow as we move forward. And then Andrew Brady, our new special teams coordinator, is a guy that, again, he's been here. He was a GA for us, and he was a full-time coach for us. And then with Kyle moving up, he had the opportunity to become our special teams coordinator, and he's a guy that is extremely intelligent, very organized, meticulous, great motivator, and did a phenomenal job with those units during the spring. So all great coaches, and I'm really excited to continue to watch them grow professionally.
I guess one more, Chris, with Kyle, how many years did you guys coach together at Chicago, and how long did he call the plays there?
Yeah. Oh, one season we were together. And he called the plays that entire year. And then, you know, as we came in here, certainly there were some things as we got together with some of the coaches as we assembled the offensive staff that we kind of brought with us and installed, if you will. And then there's some things that we didn't and that we will continue to grow. So, again, it's always about trying to play to the strengths of the skill set of the hand that you've been dealt. We want to play complementary football, winning football as a team, as a program. And so you want to make sure that, you know, hey, the offense complements the defense complements the offense, and the special team complement both. That's the style of football you want to play if you want to play winning championship football. Last year, we led the nation in turnover margin. That's big. That's something that we talk about all the time. We talk about explosive plays. We want to have more explosive plays than our opponents. We want to eliminate explosive plays as a defense. That's another statistic. And then tackling. You know, if you do those three things, you're going to have a chance to be successful all year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. We're taking questions for Coach. Just enter your name in the chat and we'll get to them. Coach, while we're waiting for more to come in, Mark Simpson here at the Big South office. Great to see you. Congrats again on last year. Looking forward to this season. Looking ahead, you had just from your rebuild plan, probably you could say it was accelerated with the great success last year, but you know, what was kind of the inkling going into your tenure to get to year 3? And obviously you're farther ahead. But what were just some of those mindsets? And now how are you having to adjust that approach because you've accelerated that early success?
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Mark. Yeah, like I said earlier, when we arrived year 1, our goal was to build relationships and establish some trust with our players. And that did take almost a year. I mean, it's unprecedented right now, the state of intercollegiate athletics. And so certainly you've got to establish trust. I wanted to make sure that our players know that we care about them as people before that we even care about them as players. And so that was very, very, very important. And I think that we did have some turnover, but we did a good job, again, building those relationships. And then the second year, we really focused on player development. And again, modifying what we did offensively, defensively, and special teams wise to play to the strengths of the team that we have assembled. And you know, we were able to take another step forward last year and be more competitive. But the ultimate goal here, as a place that's very tradition rich in football specifically, is to compete for a OVC Big South championship and have a seat in the NCAA 2014 national championship playoff field. And we were short last year. So our players understand we did not reach the goal that we had set of being back into the playoffs and having a chance to compete for a national championship. And so we've been very focused since that day that we were not selected at the end of the season on trying to improve and trying to take the next step. And, you know, that again starts with work ethic. And so the guys have worked very hard in the weight room during the winter. We had very productive spring football practices. And then this summer has been second to none in my 30-year collegiate career. We've got 109 players that have been here the entire summer. They've worked their tails off, and we'll report 119 on the 28th. And so, again, we're excited about getting back to work and then having an opportunity to kind of show where we're at as we prepare ourselves for the 29th.
Thank you, Coach. Luke Randall had a question for you, so I'll turn it over to Luke.
Hey, Coach, Luke Randall from KFVS in Cape. You mentioned earlier about that 3-game stretch. Obviously, you go to Illinois, and then you eventually will go to Northwestern. I know Northwestern has a temporary field right now, but how do you kind of get your guys ready mentally to go into those Big Ten stadiums?
Yeah, you know, again, the actual sites, you know, don't necessarily matter. What's going to matter for us is our preparation as we prepare for those games. And then when we show up, you know, it's kind of how we handle those things. Last year, we had a chance to play one FBS opponent. And I think that we got outside of ourselves a little bit. You know, some of the guys got out there so early, they expended some unnecessary energy. They put a little more pressure on themselves. We were competitive and then just didn't make enough plays in the second half. And so it got away from us a little bit at Bowling Green. But, you know, it's no different than any other game. You know, you got to show up, you got to execute the game plan. You got to maintain your demeanor, you know, and continue to out execute your opponents and make those plays. But it's still going to come down to the same things that we talk about every single week. It's going to be turnover margin. It's going to be explosive plays, and it's going to be tackling. And you know, all you want to do is you want to prepare yourself the best that you can so you can put your best foot forward. They are amazing opportunities. Certainly Illinois is very close. The Lakefront Stadium at Northwestern, I think, will be a cool opportunity for us. I'm glad that it's not in November up there, so it shouldn't be that cool with the water coming off the lake. It might act as a little air conditioning early in the year, but I certainly wouldn't want to make that trip maybe in November and be on the lakefront. But no, we're excited, and it's cool for our guys to be able to play in some different places. Heck, having a chance to go down to the Carolinas and play Gardner-Webb this year, and you know, and some of the teams that we haven't necessarily had a chance to go to their places. I'm looking forward to it. It's a tremendous challenge, but it's a great opportunity.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us this morning. We're going to transition to our student athletes